unfortunately, I do have some technical issues. It's been a month since our previous recording, and so for some reason I cannot hear anything in my headphones. So not really sure how this will work, but I can see that at least as I play sounds here. Let me see if this works. Looks like the audio does work for you guys, so that's the important part. Anyway, so I was on vacation, as you guys probably know, and so I went to the Philippines. And let me see here if I can be on my watch page, see if anybody's watching. So it was a 3.5 not really sure trip how this will work, but so I came back last week, that at least of course I play, I had a lot of catching up here. And so some of the places that we went to there, we went to some, looks like the audio does work. Also visited a lot of my family in that part of the world. My wife has a very large family from the Philippines, so basically we traveled all around Manila, and she lives in her family lives in Cavite. She used to live there too. And so here's some footage of a nice beach that we visited, and it was a great trip. And it was kind of strange in a way, not to have a lot of things to do creatively, because after you work on so many creative projects, and then you stop doing that, it feels kind of, you feel kind of like there's a void. And so what I ended up doing when I got there was one of my sister-in-laws has like this little shop where she sells like food, some different food goods, like packaged foods and things like that. And so I ended up doing some artwork to make a sign for her store. And so we went to an Ace Hardware in the Philippines, which is, it's kind of weird to have an Ace Hardware, to see one in another country. And so I got, some enamel paints and some alcohol markers. And I also, not keep busy, but to keep creative there. But it was so busy with everything else, with travel and whatnot, that I really couldn't get so creative anyway. But now that I'm back, I do have a lot of creative projects lined up. I'm going to be doing another Diana Ross sculpture for another client, a head sculpture, and making molds of hands and casting hands and whole bunch of stuff. And then I've also finished up Zombie Pirates, as you guys know. So the next project that I work on, on that, I'm kind of rolling it over in my head how I'm going to do it. And it's probably going to be a minimalistic styled clay animated film. But anyway, let's get back to the business for the first time in 4 weeks. Tonight, actually, we have news to talk about. But we also had the monthly challenges to talk about as well. So if you've been to our site, when I came back home and I visited our page, there's just a lot of stuff that people have uploaded on here in the past month that I still had to look at. I still had to go through all these things. And Ron Cole also added a thing about Platsil Gel 10 versus Dragon Skin, which there are two different silicones, and they're used for making puppets, stop motion puppets. And so which one is better? Well, to find out what Ron Cole thinks, of course, we have our group section up here on the page. So if you click on this, you can click it and you'll find out there's a stop motion heads group and also the silicone molding and casting group. And if you either click there or click here, you can read the discussion. And it's actually a really good thing to know, because if you do plan to make silicone puppets, the materials that you use, if you use the wrong material, either your puppet won't bend or it will be so soft. You don't want it to be super soft. So there's a lot of things to also think about, like how you paint it. And so all those things are, you can find out in the silicone molding and casting group. So anyway, with the monthly challenges now, I believe that we need to review, because today is the 19th, we need to review the entries. So we're going to do that. And like I say, I've been away, so I have not kept up with this, and I have not watched anything, and I don't know how many entries there are, because like I say, it's been so busy. So we're going to talk about that, and also we have a lot of other news items to talk about as well. As you can see here, I have a lot of tabs. Some Kickstarter campaigns have been fully funded, which is awesome, because we talked about those before I left for vacation in the Philippines. And Steel Cut Oats and also Linden Tar were fully backed. In fact, a little bit more than they asked for. Then we had some making of videos, and also, if we get around to it at the end of the hour, is the making of Pee-wee's Playhouse, the intro, with all these old photos, which we're going to look at. If we can't get around to that, we'll talk about that next week. So what I'm going to do now is let's see here. Okay, now looks like we might have at least 6 or more entries, hopefully. But so if you guys recall, before I went on vacation, the rules for the monthly challenges have been slightly changed. We actually added, I think, an extra week or two to the length of time. So July 1st to August 19th. So it's actually, how many weeks is that? That's like 4, almost 7 weeks. So a pretty long amount of time. And we were only doing, what, 5 weeks the last time. We used to do it for a month. So like we've been kind of changing it around, but I don't know what we will do for the next challenge. And it depends on how many challenge entries there are, because we were actually talking about, should we lengthen the challenges or not? And so this will be kind of the test. If we have a lot more entries and people seem to be making more stuff for this challenge, we might stick with 7 or 8 weeks. Probably 7 weeks. But anyway. So it was July 1st to August 19th, which is today. And so Zakira won the science fiction themed challenge last time. And let's see here. So no, she made the new topic. What did she win last time? What was the last challenge? It's been so long I can't even remember now. But so she chose the topic science fiction. And so let's see. So Alexander was the first one to enter. Claymara has an entry. Reed has an entry as well. A man lays a simple egg and goes off on a bold adventure with his new son. Let me see who else has got some in here. So Zakira has one about an alien. Gerald has one as well, called Idiot Invasion. Okay, so that makes a total of 5 entries. That's pretty good. And Ron Cole is here, and Claymore. You guys are both here watching. And so Ron asks, what will you cast the hands in? Which hands? And he says, I used to work where Pee-wee's house was made, and it was mounted over the door to the room I worked in. That's neat. That would be kind of neat to see every single day. All right, so we're going to watch Intergalactic Pizza Delivery. This is the first entry. Let me get a piece of paper here, so I'm going to keep tallying. Now, there's only 4 people here. And so if we're going to vote for a winner of this challenge... Oh, there's only 3 people. Somebody left. All right, so Intergalactic Pizza Delivery. That person did not want to see it. But we're gonna have to probably, you know, cheat on voting somehow. Maybe flipping coins or something. If we can't choose a winner, because there's only 5 entries and 3 people, and maybe only 2 people will be voting. We'll see. But we're gonna watch Intergalactic Pizza, and this is from member Alexander. So let's see. Now I can't, oh man, I can't hear it. Actually, I think I can. I'm gonna mute my microphone and turn on my speakers to listen to this so I can hear what it's about. So anyway, it's 37 seconds long, and what he said was, let me open it up here, see if there's any description. Okay, there's no description. All right. So let's see what it's about. All right, so I did get to hear the audio. It's pretty good audio. Let's see, so I'm gonna turn off my speakers. So I think that what this alien is doing is maybe he's cooking up some kind of pizza in that crater. I don't know. And this man seems very nervous to be getting a pizza. So maybe somebody prank called him or something. He didn't expect it. I don't know. But that's pretty funny. So that's Alex's. So let's see, Alex. Yeah, I think it's going to be hard to pick a winner this time here. But now we have Clay Mara's entry. And she said this time Castile leaves the fantasy planet and explores space and has an unpleasing meeting with aliens. So another scary sort of alien encounter. The last episode of Castile already showed a different way of storytelling. In this episode, I decided to stick with the same style. This film is meant for children and for adults who love stop motion animation. All right. Back on here so I can hear it.
Open your eyes and see. Clay Mara, Clay Animations.
big. So really, that's actually pretty long. That's almost 2 minutes long, which is, let's see here. Oh, do this. Hold on. It's kind of hard to work without headphones. So, Clay Mara always has the same intro to her films. And, so maybe just to recap, so Castile goes on a spaceship, and one of the things that I always like about Clay Mara's films are that she uses like a painterly sort of style to making backgrounds, and like this planet is very colorful, and you know, there's like this it's almost like a NASA image in clay, which is really neat. I mean, it's not too many people do that. It's always either, you know, one solid color, or you know, but she uses the different colors to really, it's like a very unique style. So so Juan Alvarado says something. He says, I haven't been able to be here in a while. This might change the bad vibes I have. Well, hopefully it's not, there's no bad vibes here during our live shows. That would be bad. Try to keep it pretty positive anyway. And Ron Cole makes comment that he likes the silent movies style with subtitles. Yeah, it's very good. I mean, Clay Mara's films are always good. I think that she's like the person, you know, her and Zakira are the people to, if there's any really serious, I mean, there's not really a serious competition, like people are mad at each other, but they're the two people that you'd have to beat, you know. Because they're really good. So now, the next film, this is from member Reed, and he says, just simply, a man lays a simple egg and goes off on a bold adventure with his new son. Sounds kind of funny already, actually. So he lays an egg. A man laying an egg. Maybe his son is in the egg. Let's find out. There's no sound to this one, just so you guys know. All right, so it seems like that was flying in the air. There was definitely some kind of rig removal or something going on there towards the end. And definitely fits in the realm of science fiction. Yeah, so we're going to vote for the winner of the challenges after we watch all the entries. So what do you guys think of this? It's like some sort of strange mutant ostrich type dinosaur bird alien hybrid thing. And he gave birth to it. What do you guys think? Pretty interesting. So Garbage Town says that my volume is down. Yeah, there's no audio for that one. That's we can try again. There was some strange, like, sort of alien suspenseful music there, which I didn't actually know there was. My bad on that one. I don't know why the volume was down. It's strange how YouTube, it's like this one has 3/4 of the way volume, this one is 25%, and that one is full. I don't know how YouTube chooses random volume settings. Let's see what this one is. Oh, it's full. That one's full. Okay. Alright, well anyway, so this one is from Zakira, and she says, my entry is about an alien, the science fiction movie series, and more specifically about the latest Alien video game. Okay. Do you guys know about that video game? I'm not sure about any video games, but we are going to watch it. And this one is actually called Alien Isolation Clay Animation Trailer. So let's check it out.
There's something stalking us. Something that doesn't belong here. It finds us wherever we hide. Adapts to every plan we have. And now it's hunting me.
So, like a suspenseful kind of animation there. Let's watch that one more time.
There's something stalking us. Something that doesn't belong here. It finds us wherever we hide. Adapts to every plan we have. And now it's hunting me.
Yeah, Dino Duck, that's a good one. And Juan Alvarado says platypus dragon. And so Juan is asking, what's the challenge about aliens? It wasn't about aliens. It was not. Alright, so let me see something here. I'm going to go back because I want to see something here. Where was that? So we have Claymora, Alexander Claymora, and Reed. And then Zakira, of course, and then Gerald is the last one. And he says here, I haven't entered one of these things in a long time, so I thought I'd enter this one. I tried to make this look like a bad sci-fi movie of old, complete with a somewhat grainy look and jittery camera, but the method I used to get a jittery look while still using a tripod kind of backfired on me, in part, as did shooting outside during the day. Well, that's interesting. So it sounds like he's going for like a 1930s look, perhaps. I'm not sure. And so Ron Cole mentioned that it was intense. The previous one with Zakira, and then Claymara says, I definitely felt that, and that she wishes that she showed more of the puppet. Yeah, actually, that would have been, I thought it looked pretty good, but I guess the original Alien films, that was one of the things that made it scary, was that you never really saw it all the time. So maybe she was going after that sort of suspenseful, you know, there was like an anticipation to it when you do finally see something. And Juan says that one was about the other one. Did I miss one? I'm not sure. No. Oh, you mean? Do you mean no? Because this monthly challenge was for 7 weeks. I think. Is that what you're saying? Because normally it would be after 4 or 5 weeks, and so we extended it because of the vacation. So I think that might be what you mean. If I'm not bad, yes, that was on the trailer. That phrase. If I'm not. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I think she's just calling it a trailer. There's nothing attached to it like a film. I don't think she's actually making something, big or anything. It's just kind of like a just for the challenge, I think. Alright, so anyway, we're going to watch now. This is going to be Gerald L. Smith's entry, and this is called Idiot Invasion. So here we go. I'll make sure the volume's up first. Okay. Alright, so pretty interesting, don't you guys think? Actually, that one had probably the most variation in effects going on there. There was a smoke grenade, there was space scenes, there was live action, and got some titles going on there. Overall, pretty good. Now, let's see here. So there might be one more. Where did I read that? Let me we'll go back on your chat messages here. Oh, okay. So Ron is saying Juan just missed the first entry that we were showing. And Juan says, the phrase "in space, no one can hear you scream." Where was that? These chats. It's hard to control on my side here. Where is it? Juan is asking, can I put an entry on my Facebook right now? If you have one. Oh, okay. So you've been working. He says he's just kidding. He's been working on a video with aliens. Yeah, you know, I noticed that all these entries seem to have aliens in them. So science fiction and aliens seem to go together. So here we go. We'll watch one more time. So Ron says that one has his vote. So he really liked that one. So I really don't know how we're going to do the voting tonight, guys, because with only 4 people watching, it's been so long since we had a live show because of the vacation. I think people probably are just like, what? There's a live show? So oh, okay. Yeah, you know what, Juan? Maybe next week we'll show your video. Right now we'll focus on the challenges for tonight. And same with you, Hebert. We will. We're just gonna stick with these videos for now. And so Ron says the head laying lovely on the gun killed me. Yeah, the way he's kind of evilly looking with that large gun in his hand, and okay. Yeah, let's show everybody else's videos for next week. The reason why is because it's really hard for me to do this without headphones. It's making it really complicated to show videos. So sorry about that. I need to fix the technical problems with my computer before I do that. But definitely, definitely send it to me, and I will show it next time. So, okay, so we do need to vote. So we have 5 people here, and I'm not sure if all of you guys have seen all of the videos. I'm not sure if you guys have stuck around the whole time, but we have Alexander's Intergalactic Pizza Delivery. So just to recap, I will play it without audio here so I can speak. And this was the first entry. So if anybody would like to vote for this one, just let me know. And there's only 5 entries. So if there's like a 3-way tie or something, then maybe what I'll do is I'll be the tiebreaker for tonight. This month's this is kind of funny. And where is that old man at? He looks like he's on the moon or something. It's a pretty funny one. But that's Alexander's. Yeah, that's the one that you missed, Juan. And of course, if you want to watch these with sound as I replay them, just go to our monthly challenges and click on the latest challenge. And then here's Claymara's. This one's almost 2 minutes long. And here's her intro. And so this one here, some of the things, like I said, I liked in this one are, I just think that her style is really good in terms of the colors and the backgrounds. And Claymara is... Oh, you choose this one? Claymara, do you choose your own, or are you choosing Alex's? And but I know, Claymara, you're moving, so hopefully when you do that, you get a nicer little studio space so you can keep making your films. Which I'm sure you will. I think you mentioned you were, but... Oh, okay, the pizza one, okay. Alright, so we have 1 vote for pizza, 1 for Gerald. Ron Call says that he's on series. Maybe so, because I know that was in the news, right? So, and by the way, Ron, did you know that there's a live broadcast from the space station, 24 hours of uninterrupted live footage from the space station showing Earth right now on Facebook. So I know you're into that kind of stuff, and I saw that and I thought maybe I should send that to Ron. And if you can't find the link, go to reddit.com. So this is Claymara's entry, and so I think really, Every time Claymara makes a film, it's always really good. And Claymara says she already moved. So while I was on vacation, you were moving, huh? Wow. And you still got your entry done in time. That's pretty amazing. And she says, yes, I'm making a new stage for my animations and I have a nicer spot. That's awesome. Ron is joking that she moves all the time. She's animated. Oh yeah, the lighted crater, that's right, on series. Yeah, I did see that in that film. So you're probably right. Alex, now we know the truth about where that old man was. And now the next one is Reed's. And by the way, does anybody want to vote? Going once, going twice for Claymara's film. Anybody want to vote for her awesome film? Alright, maybe when we watch all of them, we'll see. But now this is going to be the egg, or just egg, from Reed. And again, it says, just a man lays a simple egg and goes off on a bold adventure with his new son. I'm just going to make it quiet. Okay. So Ron says he knows about the live International Space Station broadcast. So the egg, this is a pretty cool one. And it's very limited, but you notice that there's like a transition into the larger platypus, dinosaur, ostrich, alien creature. So there's the beginnings of some awesome stop motion in the future for Reed. And I think some rig removal too. Garbage Town votes for egg. Okay, so Reed gets a vote. Alright. So we have 3 votes. Alright. And the next ones, we have Zykeris is next. And this is a suspenseful sort of alien trailer. She calls it like a teaser trailer, I guess. And so the alien is hiding in the darkness. And I'm pretty sure she edited, I don't know if she edited that grainy effect there or if it was just low light and her camera created the grain, but it looked really cool towards the beginning there. Like this, I think maybe, I guess she was doing that with a flashlight maybe. So it was really dark. But it made it really, that grain makes it really creepy. I don't know if you guys can see that on the live show, but on the YouTube video it looks nice. So Juan says, cool, I wish the feet move more, but I understand the trouble of it. Or challenge, he says. And Anika Koch says, I vote for Reed's. Okay. So Garbage Town has 2 votes. And Hebert says, wow. And Juan says, I choose Clay, I guess. So Claymara gets a vote. Now we have one more, which is Gerald's film. And this is what Ron Cole voted for. Because the character is pretty devious. Seems like he's definitely up to no good and wants to take over the universe, perhaps. So Anika, let me see here, Anika voted for Reed. So it's, this one here is, it's, so this, when I'm thinking for my next film, it might be minimalistic like this one, like kind of simple characters. Kind of have an idea of what I want to do, but simple, and expressive. Oh, okay. Ron says he can see all the grainy, detailed stuff from the broadcast. That's good. Because I'm not actually broadcasting in the highest broadcast level because I don't think the internet connection I have, when I tried to broadcast in the highest settings the last time, like early on, it had some problems syncing like the audio, or there were some weird problems. So it's kind of like in the second to best. So instead of like being 1080, it's 720 or something like that. So Juan says, that one reminds me of a cartoon I made, one animated in GIF, one of my first ones. And he says he likes that one as well. Yeah, I kind of like you know, the simple plot, you know, where you have a beginning, a middle, and an untimely end to this alien guy, and it tells a story in a very short span of time. How long is this one? This one is 2.5 minutes long, and also it's kind of, using the live action in there filled up some time, because I mean, animating something for that period, it takes a lot of work, but I think the the finality of that clay puppet is kind of funny. I feel kind of sorry for him. He felt so powerful with that gun, and he ended up getting stepped on. Poor little guy. So all right, so does anybody want to vote for The Idiot Invasion is what that one is called, and that's from Gerald. Anybody else? So Juan votes for Claymora. All right, so Juan votes for Claymora. Okay, so that's awesome. All right, thanks for voting. And Jason Morrow says outdoor stop motion is a great change. And Sarah Ray says, I think my vote is for the egg one. The egg one, okay. So that would be Reed's, I guess. Let me see. Let me make doubly sure. I believe it was Reed. Yes. Wow. So. And Jason votes for Gerald's. Okay. So, here's what we have. And there's 8 people. How many votes do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so all 8 people voted. Unless somebody left and someone new came in and didn't vote yet. So what we have is 1 for Alex's pizza film. We had 2 votes for Claymora, 3 votes for Reed's egg film. No votes for Zykira, which I thought Zykira was really good. And we have 2 for Gerald's film, for The Idiot Invasion. So, the winner was Reed's egg. So, congratulations to Reed. I had to turn my speakers off here. I'll play it one last final time. Alright. So that one is really funny because, if you think about it, it's like that's a man laying an egg. And the character is like a ostrich / platypus / dragon / alien creature. So, and they fly away off into some unknown dimension or something. I don't really know. But it's very science fiction-y. I mean, perhaps that was a scientist that genetically made himself able to lay an egg. I don't know. But all right, so congratulations, Reed, for your short film. I'm sure he's going to be happy to know that he won. And everybody else who entered too, I think, you know, as always, everybody always, you know, no matter what skill level you're at, it's always awesome to see new talent out there. And, you know, just remember that if you're a film, if you think it's not amazing, the longer you stick to working on films, the better they get. And if you're already good, never think that you're so great that you can't improve. Because even the best people out there are able to improve on things. So, all right. So, I can't believe it, but it's been 50 minutes since we started our show. And I had all these things I wanted to do. Well, what should I do? Well, let's just mention some news that I found. Or it was sent to me. Actually, Ron Cole sent me this little blurb to mention, because we talked about steel cut oats. I guess it might have been the week before or 2 weeks before the vacation. It's been a while. But they had this campaign on Kickstarter, and the good news is that they were successful. And you know, so this is one. Let me see, where is the actual Kickstarter link for this? Here it is. So, Steel Cut Oats is a stop-motion live-action short film about a wounded boxer who builds a giant monster out of oatmeal. And so I asked Ron Cole, is he going to be doing the animation on this? And he said he's going to just be building the puppets. So this is the main character, the stop-motion character, because the main characters are going to be stop-motion and live-action. And that's really cool. I mean, I'm wondering, because Ron Cole is sort of the master of blending. You know, he's got this Dynamation style down, where they take puppets and blend them in with live action, and he did that for the Sinbad, one of the Sinbad films that recently was released and had little fanfare in, you know, the mainstream, unfortunately. But so I'm curious, like, if they're going to use motion blur and all that kind of stuff. But they were asking for, I think, 30,000 or thereabouts, and they made it, I think, the last day or something. 14 hours to go. It seems like there was a lot of anticipation, like, were they going to make it or not? But they did. And where is... I think Kickstarter changed their layout to their... Here we go. Here's the campaign button. How was the updates? Maybe I just clicked something wrong. But what they got was $30,285, and that seems to be about, you know, the maximum I've seen. I guess Doug to Naples, for his video game, made a lot more than that. But for films, $30,000 seems to be a good number to shoot for making a short film. At least that seems to be the case. And, you know, $20,000 to $30,000 is doable now. You know, people are actually backing projects of that size. So that's really good to know. And also, Linden was another film that we talked about their Kickstarter campaign. And I think they were trying to raise $19,000. And they did. And they actually went over just slightly. So $20,000 roughly. They had a stretch goal. But that's really good news for stop motion. Like, if you study these pages, these Kickstarter campaigns, and kind of look at how, you know, they're marketing them, and how they're not just making a film and taking money, but actually offering rewards and giving back to people. Because, you know, if you go on Kickstarter, some people think that they can just stick something simple on there, you know, get money and make a film. But you really need to give something back, even if all you can do is, you know, put somebody's, like, a donation, donator's name in the credits. But, you know, these people here for Linden Tar, they're offering trinkets and pendants, and they were offering, I think, movie props, anything, any kind of incentive. So they weren't trying to be, selfish, I guess is what I'm trying to say. The more selfish you are, I think the less people will back your project because they want to get something for their money, right? So it's really good to study these, and I thought that's really good news. And I know this is not new news because I think that these guys, their campaign did not end recently. I think they've been already working on this. Yeah, I guess we don't really have time for all these, but what do you guys think about that? I think that's pretty good news. Let me see here. I have to scroll down. The comments are coming in pretty strong here, so let me go back. Ron says, would you rather see a seriously realistic live action stop motion film with a totally realistic terrifying monster or a very realistic fairy? Very realistic fairy. Well, personally, I like monster movies, but I think the challenge of putting a fairy in there, a realistic stop motion fairy, would be that would be a challenge for sure, especially if it has like beating wings. I'm thinking, what pops in my mind is Nick Hilligas had that sort of robot fairy character. It's like a robot with sort of like a dragonfly set of wings or something on there. Which I remember he told me how he made those. But making beating wings, I mean, it would be kind of hard to do that in a realistic way unless you have a motor inside the puppet and beat the wings, or even if it's like a butterfly, having beating wings and having something fly. So I could see that being a fun challenge, but if I could see a monster in there, yeah, I'd probably go with the monster. And Juan said previously that he wants to make he honestly wants to make 3D cartoons because it is what he's been doing in that style, but I don't want CG. And Claymara asks, so Ron, you're asking to choose between a monster and a fairy. Now I can't post the links to the Kickstarters because YouTube does not allow me to post links. So I'm sorry for that, Rafis. But if you want to check them out, go on Kickstarter and look up Linden Tar. That's the first one. I think this one already, I don't know when it ended, and I don't know what they were asking for because Kickstarter seems to have changed their layout or something. I don't know what the oh, here it is. They were asking for 17,000 and they got 19,000. Okay, I stand corrected there. And Steel Cut Oats is the next one. Steel Cut Oats on Kickstarter. You can look that one up for studying. And this is created by Harry Chaskin is the name. And so their goal was $30,000 and they got $30,285. They just made it. But still, that's pretty awesome, right? I mean, that's a lot of money. You can make a really cool film with that. Juan makes the joke that if he could choose between a fairy and a monster, it would be a fairy that becomes a monster. And Rafis, I don't know if you can still support those Kickstarters. If you're interested, a lot of times on our fan page, I will post links to Kickstarter campaigns, stop motion Kickstarter campaigns. Like if somebody is a director and they say, "Hey, can you post my Kickstarter?" I always do because you know, I'm just trying to support the community. So if you look at our fan page, you'll find sometimes I'll post those. Oh, okay. So that's great. You found them on Kickstarter. So Rafis has found them. And Ron says, I considered a scary aspect to the fairy story, but I'd like to keep it classic with the fairy being delightful and magical. So Ron, you're actually considering making a film like that? It's not just like a hypothetical question. And Ron says, or a monster that becomes a fairy. Yeah, I mean, a fairy tale, right? You know, fairy tales are, that's the term you would use, right? So fairies, you know, Tinkerbell is, of course, really famous. Trying to think. I mean, there's characters that are similar to fairies out there as well, even in toys and stuff. If you go to the toy store, which I do periodically because of my son. But anyway, guys, I do appreciate all of you that showed up. I guess it is time to end the show. I do need to fix my computer problem with my headphones so I can play videos next time. Because I had to do it by doing all kinds of button pushing over here just to hear what I was doing. But anyway, next week we will talk about probably all these things that I didn't get around to this week, such as here are some cool clouds, but we don't really need to talk about that. There's some videos I found, and also this Pee-wee's Playhouse Adventures behind the scenes photos and how it was made and everything. This is kind of like an iconic stop motion thing. So anyway, we will talk about that next week. And thanks for stopping by, and see you all later on.